plays on this map. They should have some good footage. So I'm really wondering why they picked this Lotus, and Sunset's gone straight through. Sentinels has basically seen the Lotus pick and gone, sure.
Should be able to get a default plant here as well. Just going to rush their way directly into Hall. Traded, though, is Raga for 1, so keeping numbers still reasonable for XLG's retake.
Sen City were like, is anybody home? Like, they just got the site for free. They got immediate first blood. It was traded. And Zekin just needs to lock in. That looked like something he could have won against Havoya, but it's an opening that XLG could work with. Now, Sen City, their backs are against the wall, trying to keep the spike planted. But it's a united army of XLG that dismantle the Sentinels on pistol. Closer to their ultimates. Now opening that door, seeing if XLG are there. Not having any B presence from Sentinels. They do have to watch their back, but now checking that out, they feel confident going forward as Raga is trying to escape. You're going to have some waterfall reinforcements from XLG soon, but Happyway is just different on the anti-eco, looking nearly flawless until that anchor falls, but still 4 weapons into the bonus.
That's going to be first blood, bang. Straight on to Coconut. Wall comes up a little bit too late to save Coconut. XLG were hoping we're going to be able to win that duel. Now straight through into tree, onto site, nobody's home.
Yeah, this will be pretty easy for Sentinels, but it's the retake that you have to worry about for XLG. They're going to wait to be united while XLG still wait for their Viper, but, you know, with the Sheriffs, it's fine. Now dropping down from the low ground soon. Out the smokes dissipate. Zekin is front and center as the bodyguard, and John Cutie has the right lane. Now Raga will be next, and no utility to try and surprise Sentinels with. They just walk down one by one, and it'll be a Sentinels flawless very soon on their first rifle round. The 2-stack that XLG have had in the past over there, using the paranoia, suppression, just shots, spam through XLG, forcing them into cover through tree. Good headshot from Zekin, and Sentinels will trade and still have the number advantage with the Prowler clearing through stairs. It will be a plant, and Nightfall to try and be proactive against what Sentinels thought was going to be an anchor, and XLG will peek through stairs.
Coconut just left on an island there. TP's all the way onto Rubble, but the wall cuts him off from the rest of the help that XLG could have given him. And the Sentinels complete disrespect to the coach of XLG, running him down a tree. At least he trades 1 for 1. And Nightfall will clear the site. Not that anyone was really home in the first place, but these 2 members from XLG coming through tree could be the X factor. Raga shut down early though.
Oh, just the Prowler was on the left side when the rest of Sentinels were on the right. So the timing a bit off from XLG, trying to fully get value out of their initiator. So Viva will hope to hold the Vandal with a big clapback and a stronger post plant. Withstanding the XLG retake that started off so well, but with the save from XLG, they're hoping to do as much damage and have a surprise with these walk-ups towards spawn that Sentinels are expecting.
Well, they put the hero rifle onto Raga. That was the rifle saved by Viva that he'll reclaim into his own hands once again. And the unfortunate thing is they didn't consider that Zekin was going to bring an outlaw into this round, so nobody came with full armor, not Raga either. At least Viva will trade and retrieve his own rifle back to keep things a little bit more competitive. But we're not expecting much yet, just seeing what kind of damage they can do to the Sentinels' economy before it's all said and done. And you know, once more, just looking at the players alive here, all within 1-shot range for Zekin. He'll upgrade to the Vandal anyway, so.
Like that Sen have already been adapting to expecting the presence from XLG at A long, and Viva gets a surprise, and Sen get a little split up from the smokes, so pivoting towards B after seeing that fade fall back to A.
Well, they see that the fade of Viva was on A, but also Coconut. They saw him over on stairs as well, which means that, yeah, could he be in top mid, be upper? It's possible, but they'll beat his timing in any case. Prowler's going to spot him now. Easy shots from Zekin.
Yeah, being proactive. I love that center getting aggressive, and that's to stop the XLG retake before it gets too spicy, and Viva will be forced to save once again. Sentinels on a 3-round win streak with XLG having a 3 front-facing defense in a one-and-done position, and despite the paranoia, it's open something XLG have been able to benefit from.
It's open shooting season for Sentinels. They completely dismantle every player that XLG show up with on C, on Mound. Happyway solo on Mound, looking for a shot, but he didn't really bring. I think he had the Marshall here, but yeah, no shots.
I just like the smokes from XLG. First in a lobby, of course, their Viper wall there too allows it. Sentinels can't really scale up to A as confidently as they did before, especially around the Rubble side. So now trying to explore the opposite side of the map, it is going to be just pivots back and forth from Sentinels to try and find that weaker side.
Those were the 2 guns that were brought in, the Marshall and the Guardian, are dropped. So now XLG basically have not really anything left to say in this particular round. Only Tool expecting Sentinels to go up 5 pretty cleanly here. Just need to make sure that this is clean and that they'll be able to drop any members in silly situations. Coconut spotted, Coconut down.
Yeah, Zekin's playing well, and he knows it too, and he's just satcheling up on the high ground like that. And against the save, you just want to farm XLG when you can. Here's your Happy Way. I mean, Seaside has been hit, and now the Steel Garden. Happy Way will try to escape. Of course, you got the teleport in. Sentinels established. Retake. Trying to be a little bit quicker this time. It is the Pit to try and retake some of the space. Pit v Pit. This is just a no man's land, and Sentinels happy to be hidden from all of this while the spike is being planted. It's going to allow them to defend, but on off angle you have the Nightfall from Waterfall as XLG have to send their double duelists to clean up what they started, but they just can't seem to unite with just all the vision being obscured. Sentinels trade blow for blow, and Sentinels get the last laugh.
Super nice versus the Pit, but they're just such a good team. They're so far ahead. Zekin's already got Coconut down again.
Yeah, XLG swing a lot more forward this time, expecting Sentinels to drop the wall, and just XLG being able to get the orbs to hopefully getting more impact out of those two. But the double Pit, I mean, I don't blame both of these duelists having a really hard time. So Sentinels with the number disadvantage will be trying to get a plan up.
So this is a big swing around them. This is the XLG opportunity. They actually get these really nice opening picks. They've been failing to get these time and time again, multiple rounds, early face up, early failures, and Happy Way. Sheriff only takes down Zekin, dodges the outlaw shot.
Happy Way is just warming up.
Wow.
And could at least be a threat. But XLG coming through the top of the site, the smoke obscures, and Nary with the Nightfall. As soon as he senses XLG around the corner, there it is, the Nightfall. XLG can just stay hidden, but time is of the essence, and XLG just frag, all thanks to this sort of flank from Coconut coming through the A-link door. And it's just beautiful timing out of XLG. Just the opposite side of the map, if they're gonna be met with this much contention from XLG at A lobby, but this time, Sentinels, they're just so stubborn with it. They're losing the duel. Beautiful 2K from Viva. And Sentinels will trail, but they open up the vision. Of course, XLG do as well, but they stay as hidden as they can, and Sentinels have to figure out what is next.
XLG finding more and more value now over on this Rebel side. One around through here just previously. The pseudo thrifty. Voya on the line, he's ready. In fact, he knows, he sees the rifle, he sees the barrel, and that's going to cost John QD's life.
It's just not ideal when you just had a controller and a Sentinel trying to clutch and still scale through and clear towards A. So Sentinels, I think, did the right move last round to just kind of abandon A and out-rotate XLG, but this time they just try to fight fire with fire, and unfortunately, Sentinels don't have the same blaze as before. Now trying to come through the backside of B. Like this idea out of Zelsis in a 1v3, has time to go to C.
It's just a tough 2 versus 3 situation if you don't possibly trade, or at least have John go 1-to-1 there, which wasn't going to be possible given peeked a little, his body was rifle, peeked a little further than he would have wanted to. Okay, whoa. Oof.
Had good initial damage. It's not going to be a good site to hit.
John's also revealing positioning here a little bit, open the door, hoping to get some rotators out from C, but not going to be the case.
Zekin does cross the road before getting cut off, and I wonder if he saw that number on that lower path. Doesn't matter. Sentinels support each other so well. It is still a 3 versus 3. Now with that nade, it is gonna delay the plant, and there is the showstopper through the fire and the flames. Haboya, an amazing start, traded by Sentinels. Time running out. The plant goes through, and XLG may have just prevented it. John Cutie has to do it here and now, and just can't with the pressure coming through Waterfall. It's a 6-6 half.
5-man look from XLG all the way through Rebel. Quiet so far. No signs from Sentinels as all just walk through, door closed.
No one going to go through that B-Link door from Sentinels. Kind of surprised they wouldn't want to try and cut off those rotations or have multiple angles, just trying to play this from front to back. And now Sentinels trying to back away against the Prowler. But it is going to be Nary kind of by himself, not linking up with Zekin, but Zelsis is still punching hard against XLG, who have lost a lot of that real estate, a lot of that manpower. It's all up to Happy Way to keep stairs on lock, and it's traded 1-for-1, leaving Viva to do all the hard work, and while blinded, it's not going to be easy. He does stay safe against John Cutie, and Bang gets some damage into Bang, now trading back and forth. This is winnable for Viva! Bang chooses this moment carefully and takes it for Sentinels. They buy up on the anti-eco. And it's just Narrate having to hold this back. as best as he can. The numbers stacked for XLG, but with the smoke, they're not just getting spammed through, and they kind of hesitate whether they wanted to retreat or not. And, well, at least this round is going to be over quickly, Kevin.
We've had plenty of these go through. Coconut's usually the first one dead, and now he's going to be the sole survivor, no longer Viva. And near flawless coming through once again.
More ready for it this time as the haunt is thrown from Mary, getting vision in. Sentinels going to prevent the plant, but this corner should be safe for now, especially with Zekin getting smoked off. Still has a nade, of course, and double satchels if he wants to get freaky. And Sentinels are just really suppressing them and waiting to hear that spike get planted. But now it is a rotation from Zekin to join through the front lines. Waterfall not going to be another angle to get through. Sentinels are going to just flood in all together. Now getting some shots in. XLG just hold the back. Sentinels trickle in and really not backing each other up as well. Just all coming through the same angle. XLG hold it down, and it's only just Zelsis.
Waiting for the plant to come on through before the retake comes in, and everyone making their way into halls and falling down to the firing squad of XLG, all on site together, holding strong. And they even want to clean up Zelsis here as well. Happyway.
Clean Valorant and stay locked in. They know the job's not done, and it's the Prowler that leads the way for Havoya and the Boom Bot that could have marked someone close. Now you got an Odin. As Zelsis tries to read where this push is. XLG now playing chicken against bullets, and that's a deadly game. And Havoya will still put the red carpet down, but there is a pivot of the spike going towards B to the loving arms of Sentinels. But the push from Happyway was unexpected. It caught Sentinels watching that B-Link door off guard. Now you could get a good plant, but now it's just pivots back and forth.
They can rotate now. Havoya's got full control over towards A. He's winning his duels over there. You already start to see Coconut pivoting. It might just be Happyway chilling over towards B to keep things interesting. Finally, the decision going to be made. B is looking a little bit safer. Coconut will eventually place here. But still, though, on the big flank, Havoya can get a lot. Though you can still see that Sentinels are very considerate of the fact that this flank is active.
Spike planted.
Just Happyway just getting that initial clear through the top site. And they focus on that A-Link door where they blast off some defenders, and this is important. Both Vipers about to face, and it's Happyway that has to shut it down. But John Cutie's been dealt with, and it's just up to Zelsis, who's gonna have to get rid of this Odin. He does, and maybe just wants to save the Vandal, but a 1v2 is certainly possible for a guy like him, but the high-low, too strong.
XLG, so we start to look towards the potential with Viva ultimate, Moraga. Yeah, he'll get his own ult off that kill.
Yeah, his story has been put to an end. For now, XLG happy with that pick, as Sentinels will have to fill the gap that was left behind, and you got a 3-man walk up from Sentinels towards a lobby, taking advantage. The one that has to hold us back is Rarga. Meanwhile, the rest of XLG will get the objective done, and Zelsis will be called back. Of course, they just have pistols and this stinger from Bang. Gotta hope it does exactly that, but they're just not going to be running into Rarga until they clear through B. They're maybe going to go through that B-Link door instead. That's all about timing between Zelsis and the other two joining him very soon. But the spike is ticking. Now, the orb out of the way. Zelsis hopes to make contact soon. It's taking way too long for Sentinels to rotate.
Well, Endo just playing for exits here. Their weaponry is a little bit too low.
Who's next?
Drifting.
Dimensional drift, yeah. As now it's XLG, just good protocols, clearing the box with the Prowler, now converging into B, and it's Happyway through B main. You had the paranoia from Sentinels coming through the tree, and XLG are just sandwiched, and it's quite painful, and they have to pick a side to push through. XLG have their attention split, but it's about winning these individual duels if they can, and this time XLG have decided to go towards A. Getting the right read, they could outnumber Bang, and it'll be up to him now that the smoke dissipates. But not getting pushed quite yet. It's allowed Sentinels to push out of B. And XLG have taken too long to decide where to go.
Well, they finally get banged down. That allows them to finally get on top of A as well. Just got to check through a couple of decent corners, and then should be the plant. Planting for Tree. The 3 alive on Sentinels is good. Steel Garden, that'll be the guns gone. Showstopper though. Havoya needs to show up here.
Great Steel Garden. Havoya with a showstopper, and just unfortunate timing. Kind of trying to sell the fake, which you can do playing that double duelist, and you can play solo on that side and play off the showstopper. Hey, and it's good for Sentinels to get the one. The Nightfall will try to get the chase down on that Omen, with, of course, Narrate able to fire back with his own Nightfall here in a second. And he does. XLG now hesitate whether to go in. The Prowler is going to bite down on Happyway, who's isolated. At least he has a smoke to play off of, but it's not going to be a good spot with the Vulnerable and the Decay. But XLG seems to shoot better. And Sentinels just have John Cutie while Zelsis is still rotating from A. Really good clutch out of XLG.
Man, that was a really curious round coming on through. The initial Nightfall being ripped open from Viva. Very low chance was going to catch anybody, hoping maybe somebody on site, but bang, easily just TPs, double TPs away from that one. So kind of weird from Viva. They were hoping to be able to catch the last member, but then the counter Nightfall comes on through and doesn't deliver enough for Sentinels at all.
And I think you could just pit here to try and get this plant safer, and they're just baiting out these shots from Sentinels. And now the pit will go down to protect this. How Sentinels can approach this is going around the perimeter. Both of XLG tried to stay within, but Viva caught on the outside to prevent the retake from Sentinels. And now going for both angles. Happyway caught between a rock and a hard place, and it's John Cutie that'll get it in the end with the defuse, and Sentinels back in the lead. And
just a ton of spam damage on his face.
Yeah, it's just easy for a second with the lock-in, and there's not going to be a punish. And Sentinels, just the back-to-back rounds where they're able to converge from multiple angles and have the time to rotate and surround XLG. And it's XLG that'll find themselves behind a duelist, but Havoya could lead that with just a showstopper. It's a little bit awkward to try and go through all these angles, all these corners, hoping to still get that ult off.
See if Viva gets interested a little bit further on to test the smoke wall or test out the door as well. But as he falls off, it's Havoya first on site. Walking through, and he's going to be able to walk all the way nearly into spawn. 1 versus 1. Does he check the right corner? Nope. Not going to be able to get John Cutie down in time.
Still XLG. Nice. Seeing if they can have any advantages. What is going to be the weaker site, the less defenders? You had ears from Viva hearing at least 2 defenders getting a win over at A. But XLG just don't want to waste any more time. It's up. Happyway versus Bang. Even though Bang had a high ground and a nice angle, gotta respect Happyway. We'll back away, and Viva has full util to help keep this site for XLG.
It's just too many members down from XLG untreated. At least Viva got Zelsis, but that's all that XLG have for the time being. They will get the plant down, but 4 versus 2. Plenty of ultimates in hand. Showstopper there as well. Really not expecting Happyway and Viva to get it done. It's not planted offside either, so.
Second as a showstopper, this is how you break in off the paranoia. Say goodbye to Viva. And it's Sentinels in the 3 versus 1. Now it's hide and seek, and it's deadly for Happyway.
Pretty confident this is not going to end over towards C. In fact, you could even see the potential for Zelsis to fall off this side as well.
2 Prowlers, too, from Neri. He could check things out. Once he gets a good sense, he could lay it all down with an Odin and do some critical damage to XLG, just really dwindling their chances already for this round. Sentinels have had time to rotate. Nobody at B. XLG still have a 2-stack with the pit at C. So it is a pivot, a great read from XLG, realizing this site is open. There will be a flash, though, placed by Zelsis once Sentinels do want to fight for this.
Good structure to be able to still pull through the showstopper despite no one being there. Need to make sure that it is clean. You have lost rounds from there before. It's Viva up first, though. Needs to have shots ready to go. Does he know there's 2 players, though? He knows he's definitely one.
Just needing to buy time, play your life. If you're XLG, start off getting first blooded. Now it's about protecting the objective, and you have Coconut playing through B main. He's about to meet where this Viper is going to push from, but John Cutie is better. Neri's Odin screams louder than XLG, and it's Sentinels on match point. Any juicy prey? Not yet. It's XLG, not the best buy, but a Nightfall. That could be good. It is going to get this fade, but no, Neri just spams through blinded. Not care in the world. What is Raga looking at? Trusted his teammate too much. And XLG fumbled despite such a good ultimate. Neri just wills this win into existence. And it's Havoya left for XLG, now buried 6 feet under. 13-9 for Sentinels. They do it again.
Raga now on a Neon, expecting a lot more out of this position now, but it's Zekken up first. And Zekken down
and
first.
He's down first. Yeah, what the heck? XLG, just great retaliation from Viva and Market, and he continues to slap around Sentinels who even try to come his way. Well, Sentinels will use that distraction of their fellow teammates' corpses to get the spike down, but that's all they're going to get this round. Another XLG pistol to kick off a map. It's kind of a lot on Coconut to be the one that really
Oh, he's trapped in
blinds and
Baron.
limits this duelist. And the barrier was insane from Havoya, limiting the exit of Sentinels. So far, the Sentinels are doing exactly what their role is. And Sentinels, as soon as they get into position, they can explode into the site with that breach, but haven't been able to develop to that point. XLG's proactivity has been huge, and so has Havoya.
Well, just one more to come through here. Havoya can get another kill here to end things out with. He will baiting.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened.
They're definitely getting, well, they're getting excited. They're getting off to a good start.
Oh, and the mesh, but Sentinels this time were ready for it. They react, they bite back, but it's Viva with a huge 3K that nullifies this round for Sentinels, and it's Neri that has to think of another plan.
Solid from Viva, also in the previous map as well. Gonna bring that momentum through, but already looking in dire straits for Sentinels' first gun round. Not looking too pretty here. Viva collecting a bit of an upgrade. Good news here is Raga doesn't have the one shot. In fact, he is just going to die here. That might actually rescue the round for Celsius and the rest of Sentinels.
We're going to see this coming. Sentinels 2 versus last leg, and to stop this, a good surprise from Happyway, but it was traded. Viva has to make his way to A, and Sentinels will know exactly where his last location was, and the tripwire will reveal Viva.
Cam's going to get info here as well in just a hot minute. And Viva has no clue. At least the regen shield allows him to get back onto a little bit more HP, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Celsius now has full information. He knows exactly what this is going to come through. You'd imagine this round is entirely over, and it is. Viva doesn't even know which way to look.
After he got caught by Havoya, once with the mesh and the other with the barrier. Sentinels playing with their food, and it's a chess match now with the paranoia. Very critical to know that Coconut is on this side of the map. It's going to be the biggest threat to the duelist on the Sentinels side. As long as Sentinels swing together, it's to be a much cleaner round. But a neural theft nonetheless from Celsius will reveal the rotations are on the way for XLG.
Coconut would have wanted more there. If he gets a single extra kill, a 2 versus 2 retake feels a lot better, considering Raga also doesn't have another gun to use. Op on the retake is going to be a little bit rough here. Happyway also one away from neural theft. We'd love to get some information on positioning here. Raga's up against 2, and he might get traded even if he does get a kill. And
Raga could do it. Oh wait, he slipped by, and John Cutie puts him to bed.
Just take a look that Havoya is not to be seen. In fact, a lot of Havoya's utility hasn't even been deployed yet. He's waiting.
Oh, Coconut, come on! You had the heads up. It's in your name. You're all up there like a Coconut. You just couldn't get that first blood, but it is just
Instead, he got cracked open.
Yeah, he got cracked for sure. An XLG on Sheriffs, that would have been the one surprise, something to get a rifle. I mean, I'm just hard coping at this point. Happyway, that is nice. Neural theft being invested too. XLG believe. I don't know if the rest of us do, because Narrate is pulling out shots like that to put the ball back into Sentinel's court. And Havoya is blinded.
Right there.
Or somebody was blinded, and Havoya is still kicking.
I mean, this has been a lot of damage done. No matter which way you slice it, Happyway is showing up. He's had a couple of clean rounds so far, but Havoya isn't going to be the walkthrough at all. Ready to control this break trip into mid. Havoya, he dropped off.
Don't want that smoke. Oh, Second does not care.
Wait,
The Annihilation will still be grabbed by that Annihilation, and Celsius will have to avenge him. As now the spawn is open, and XLG get hit by a Nightfall. So there's so many problems that Happyway is facing, and he won't have to worry about them anymore. It's Coconut and Viva have to also re-clear through their own spawn. They have no idea where Celsius is lurking about, so saving your weapons, including that op.
Well, that's the thing, right? They brought the op in. Raga played a glass cannon op that will be recovered by Viva now. The Sentinels feel like they have enough to chase here. Money's actually not too bad, so they're going to go for this one. If they take away the op, that'll be a very expensive loss for XLG. I mean, just losing these guns in general will be a very expensive loss. Zekin being the only death here, that was due to the Annihilation from Havoya. Everything else going very wrong for XLG.
I don't know, you're going to be able to keep these rifles, XLG. Coconut has to be locked. Here's the swing. Beautiful setup from John Cutie. And now you're just watching your own win, and the op is dropped at least. And if XLG get info, they could Hunter's Fury, but this is too forward from Viva.
Wow.
Whoa, just the swing is so good from XLG. Viva, he lives and he kills. And Zelsis just catching Coconut on a bit of a hot skip and a jump. And off the camera info that Zelsis provided, feel confident trying to push into Coconut, into Market. The last time they've read that he was there, but it's a different setup from XLG. You got the teleport from Bang to come assist, and the spike is down. The Hunter's Fury cuts Sentinels at the heel. And it's now Bang that has to lurk around after the ult, and he gets a surprise, but not enough manpower from Sentinels.
Could be another market play for Sentinels, walking this time into 2.
Oh, Coconut still is being dismantled on that top high ground, so Sentinels are definitely finding the weaker entry point to get into B with, and it's a 2-3 split from Sentinels to attack and dislodge this anchor of Happyway, who's going to remain within the site, and he gets his one and dances around cover. A second, and now revealed from the neural theft. No, Zelsis, he takes advantage and evens up the odds as best as he can. Sentinels back in the driver's seat after the effort from that Sentinel from XLG. It's up to Rarga, but I think maybe just keeping the op would be better.
He actually can play this, so this is the thing. How confident are you if you're Rarga? You can swap over to the overdrive at any point in time. The real difficulty is eventually you're going to have to play into some of this John QT utility. Haunts back on a line. Fault line is there again. Most importantly, though, it is looking over towards that ultimate. Swapping over towards the weapon. This is so doable for Rarga.
Oh, the Rolling Thunder's invested, and Rarga. Sonic Sensor at B is going to make things sketchy for Zekin if he crosses that path, especially when you have to try and get to that high ground. And there's a Sonic Sensor stun, the swing out of Favoria, but the support is better out of the Sentinels to back up their duelist. And it's Coconut from the top rope, now being obscured. They'll have to take a market approach if XLG hope to retake this. And they'll leave Coconut to wait for that cage to expire.
You have members playing offsite here as well, which is going to be very difficult for XLG to be able to navigate. Multiple angles here, at least if you come through Boba for one member on Coconut, could be interesting. But no paranoia, it's already been spent now. But can they react in time to get these kills?
You don't even have time to use the neural theft. You just have to go and frag now just to confirm the big win for Happyway, who claims with joy, and XLG will tie. Strengthen that side of the map for XLG. The barrier is only going to delay Sentinels for so long. The paranoia thrown into the mix, and Sentinels have to wait. Now they swing out. Narrate with the stinger, and now the Nightfall at 5 HP. Just trying to keep XLG in his place, and it sets up the overdrive for Zekin, but Rarga knows his place. And Sentinels 2 versus 2, and one of them with a pistol, open to change that up, and Zekin at the top site wants to get ahead of the game, but it's XLG converging through the market side, and it's Rarga that leads that, loud and proud, around the corner. This is the fight to win the round, and it's Viva once again, the strikes to the heart of John Cutie, 1v1, and the better Neon is Rarga. Could have maybe been hurt at that corner, and Zekin is still caught off guard, just weave, dive, and dodging around his own wall, and Happyway has been the ultimate anchor for XLG to keep B as big of a challenge as possible against the Sentinels.
Here's the info off the neural theft, knowing that A is a little bit compromised, is going to be Narrate now. They drop off Zelsis to try and sell this fake a little bit further. Havoya not interested in moving out, waiting for the barrier mesh, being patient here. Narrate doesn't want to reveal his positioning. Now finally it's going to be the full rotation. This will be an A finish. Does Rarga smell this one? He's starting to lean over, and eventually XLG need to be ready. Surely that's footsteps heard. Has to be, surely.
Yeah, he can prowler through that corner box, so Havoya has a lot. Maybe could even throw this Annihilation preemptively, and he claims the breach, and there tries to unleash him.
And again, very little ways to be able to stop this utility from range with no shock darts available. So you're just going to have to try to run into some of these. At least there'll be some information on Viva.
Oh boy, you're doing what you can. You get blinded, you get breach utiled, and Sentinels have found their way in. There's a Sonic Sensor, a good concuss that Rarga is able to benefit from. And it's a 2 versus 1, all up to Narrate. And he gets the finishing blow on Coconut. Now it's about just locking in after that extended pause. Another factor to consider. Hold the arm! That Fade just barely hanging on after Happyway got lucky, and even while stunned, he gets at least one for the road. And Happyway has been such an impactful play for XLG.
It was just a fake. Of course, Happyway is a lurk over towards A. Just going to pull over plenty of members from SEN. However, that being the case, Marshall is going to be the upgrade over for Narrate. Marshall is going to be the upgrade over for Narrate. A post plant now set up with at least one of your Sentinels utility. It's going to be pretty tough to enter. You've lost second as well, your entry player.
Got flashes from John Cutie, Narrate with nothing. A hope and a dream at 2 HP. I love this post plant, and this is going to be the beauty of XLG's double Sentinel. There only one remains, but Happyway did some initial work taking care of the big entry point of Sentinels being Zekken.
This is the exit play coming through now. Zelsis looking for a few here. Stun to set him up. And will at least allow them to take the Havoya, but largely it's still XLG. Okay, that's a pretty rough beginning. Bang onto Viva, Zekken onto Raga. Both sides of the map finding success for Sentinels. There's also the lurk side being dealt with as well on A. Really, for XLG now, mid is where their advantage is.
Yeah.
But two traps will be in the way for Havoya.
And you kind of lose two important people to try and get through these choke points of the Sova, of Raga, and the only chance is Coconut's Paranoia, and that just hasn't developed. This round was cooked from the start from these early peaks from Sentinels, so that first rifle round, huge for them, and to potentially be able to bring all 5 of them would be even better.
Should be. Narrate on the angle, sees the shoulder.
Out of Bang, or even just the breach. A lot of utility from the Sentinels side, but not utilizing it. XLG, they battle so well when nothing affects them, but it's only Happyway left, and he's on the opposite side of the world just lurking. XLG end up taking a big ol' L at the end.
This has gone so poorly for XLG, but a 1 versus 2 Happyway has so far been the massive fragging power for the team. You can see the respect coming through. Sentinels want to make sure they can mark him, take him down, take no risks against Happyway, who's been sharp. The good news for Happyway is that there is time, and he can isolate a 1 versus 1 against Zelsis here on B.
Just a good nightfall from Narrate if Zelsis was in position a little bit closer from mid, so a slight desync from the Sentinels. As XLG did, of course, hear Zelsis cross from mid. You know that nightfall came from A, so some information for Happyway to work with. But now the unknown in front of him. And it's Happyway around the corner, but Justani check.
And now it's up to Zelsis for first contact. Decent one-way cage, rather. Should be able to allow Zelsis to get some good advantage here.
Like that one way, Zelsis is gonna get pinged and gets punished. At least takes one down with them. And Zekken just pokes and prods at the choke as XLG flood in. And it's Sentinels out to play this from front to back. And doing it without John Cutie, without your IGL. It's gonna be pain, and that neural theft is gonna give Happyway all the answers. But Zekken slips by their defenses. It doesn't matter, because Narrate is all that's left for Sentinels in a 1 versus 3. And Havoya walked by. Viva knows Annihilation doesn't. The Warrior goes fishing, gets no one. A big double kill from Bang, but an answer from XLG. They recover the spike, and they already have Coconut within the site. No Paranoia. All the util from Viva, and even a Hunter's Fury, but to even have the space to operate around that, it's going to be tough. Zekken could activate.
Speaking of operate, right? What's he going to do about this situation? Should be able to get a free kill here. Doesn't need to use the overdrive just yet. A single player left to play through, and Viva, if we get more teammates in this post-hunt, could use this Hunter's Fury, but Viva will be good for 1, but can he get more? Absolutely not. Zelsis with the backstab, and the round goes back the way of Sentinels.
A fall back into market. Some space for XLG to work with, but the retake is already there. John Cutie front and center. A big pick as Sentinels spread themselves thin on both sides of the pillar. And it's Bang left to pick up the pieces. 1 versus 3. Spike going down. And Bang has Paranoia, and there's so many corners to check. At least Coconut won't be in this equation. Bang has the 1v2 ahead of him, and that's a good trade from the initiator of Narrate. You got Prowlers, you got a Paranoia, and it's him with a double kill. Could have saved this round. Narrate has been huge in these rounds at times, and still dwindles XLG down to only 2 rifles.
Solid from Narrate, and now there's guns on the floor as well. So what do you do in this situation for XLG? You're down to minimal numbers. You're starting to pass over the potential of gun upgrades if Sentinels are allowed map control here. And so for XLG, retain position, push back over into A. Sensing that Bang is going to be nearby, but you called it. Narrate's been huge so far on this defensive side. Does Viva have what it takes to take down Bang here?
Yeah, Bang makes first contact. John Cutie could swing. He has full util, one away from the Rolling Thunder. John Cutie up next. Viva's just quicker to the trigger. Look at that teamwork with him and Happy Way. Viva, it's not always about the numbers, but the importance of these kills. And now the plant goes down. Speed activated. Zekin in position. The drone out. Nace have spotted this Neon.
Tag.
As Zekin plays with his food. The spike in front of XLG to defend. And Happy Way puts one down. And it's 1 to go. Getting XLG up to match point.
Good news for Sentinels. Plenty of ultimates. That's what they have to work through. Find some decent value there, find some gun upgrades, and suddenly you're in business, and there is the first. Neural Theft as well to confirm the position. You're going to understand the Coconut's right there. Can Zelsus get this?
Making sure that breaches on the opposite side of the map could be huge for XLG. They are just going to outnumber Narrate and even get the hunt down. Viva once again stealing away these rounds as XLG could get one of the final plants going. As John Cutie with the Rolling Thunder is coming up for Sentinels.
Yeah, can these two players on XLG do it again in these clutch scenarios? It would be insane for them to just consistently win. However, for Sentinels, they have the ultimates to play through. They have utility for Zekin as well, and he's got a gun.
He slips and slides, and there's only one place XLG can win. But there's Lord
towards an early on, straight onto C main. Massive face-up, both teams contacting each other. Waiting for the utility, though. It's not going to come through. Oh, yeah, it's just going to swing for it and die.
Second Juicy, and XLG now just trying to escape, but also get their spike back. The double swing. This is the way that we want to see Sentinels synchronized from here on out. Just tightening that up would have, I think, had Sunset go the distance. This is already a better map for Sentinels.
This is essentially, as we watch the possibility for Happy Way to do something. I mean, look, he's been legendary on Sunset, but a 1 versus 4 would have to be ridiculous. So he'll get backstabbed by Zelsus, speaking of which.
Sentinels, the very loud and proud sniper from Zekin, who is going to be smoked off. A B approach from XLG, but having a 5 on the retake, it's going to be difficult for XLG to hold back.
They need to be able to close these distances as well. They want to do that over towards A, but it just flashed out beautiful paranoia onto all members. And here comes Zekin from behind.
This takes too long to reload, but Sentinels pinch from all angles.
Are they going to see Narrate, though? They need to get Narrate down early. Viper Walk is still coming to slow this down a little bit more.
There's nothing more than what the Sentinels defenders could do. Of course, using a lot of those bonus weapons, and Zekin wants to keep the op, so XLG will show face on their first rifle round. No eyes on Garage or back sight. Smoke for Coconut available. Just kind of delay things. Sentinels have a recon, of course, no drone, and Sean Cutie with an op, but it's gonna be difficult for Sentinels to break through, and it's actually a proactive paranoia from XLG, thinking they had the timing on the Sentinels entry, even an early fault line too, so XLG hold the door, now racing in off the paranoia is Zekin, big opener against Viva, now shooting through the boxes, it's Toe. Just going toe for toe, punch for punch, and it's the XLG multi-kills that thrive at the end, another 3. This is a much more suitable comp for XLG. Going well so far with back-to-back rounds, looking for a corpse for Happy Way with the neural theft advantage, and Raga makes that space and somehow loses that to Narrate.
Wow!
Zelsus with, what? A Sheriff 4K to turn it all around to re-establish the Sentinels?
They did not check the double box to their right. That is very basic, and unfortunately that may cost them, and it will. Happy Way has to be the player to hold on as long as possible. Rifle in hand. A little bit of support coming through John Cutie, and Zelsus is down first.
He was found, an XLG have evicted Sentinels. There is a flank from Bang, but it will be sussed out by the Happy Way trip. So XLG have their attention quite split, and Havoya gets to explore. Does lose it to Bang, but the info that Bang is there is half the battle, with Neri coming through the top site. XLG have time on their side too. The paranoia clears out Garage, but isn't going to get the targets Bang was looking for.
And look at the instant smoke up as well coming through from Coconut. 1 HP, by the way, Happyway. This is slow though. Snakebite would slow things down considerably. They do beat the timing on the smoke. Here comes Zekin. He wants to dive on in off the information that Narrate gets, but it's more than info. It's kills.
Season. Oh, the 2-for-1. Disgusting.
Last player standing.
XLG down for the count. They haven't had a lot of luck at B. This will go SEN's way to try and help their economy going forward.
I mean, they were playing into a real potential trap there. And as soon as you see the Snakebite come through, you have to start thinking, do we really want to continue or not? But it was a full commitment from Raga, which means everyone else is going to follow through. And then a situation where, yeah, Zekin, full confidence, swings on and slides through. Really make magic happen on this Blaze Storm. However, only on 81 HP for the time being. That's info spotted by Narrate now.
And because you have pistols, you have to play this. No lurk activated, no other option for XLG except Raga with the one, with the smoke separated from the rest. And Narrate and Bang keep it locked for Sentinels.
In fact, got pushed up. Several members of the Sentinels are in short. It's going to be Happyway taken down super early. Not what you want to see if you're XLG.
Oh, the swing from Raga. He's always good for one, but SEN are good at trading him out, so it's always been super close rounds between these two teams. And map 3 that many would not have expected.
Voya has a position here, and he's well found his target in Bang. Coconut as well on the opposite side of the map, and suddenly XLG have bought their way back in 3-2 here. But what can Coconut do? Oh, terrible.
Oh, that would have been everything for Coconut to save. I mean, he just put the red carpet down for XLG to maybe get a plant down at C, and now Viva has to reconsider.
They got time though, but XLG don't know where to go. They're gonna move onto the site where Coconut died, and it's gonna end up working out for them. Havoya making the calls here. Where is the Viva? Do not take that trade, please, Viva. That would be terrible. You need to get grouped up with Havoya right now and play for a plant. Cannot afford to die in mid.
Standing ahead.
Right, plant should be good. Zekin and Narrate recon too to help Zekin get eyes and ears as best as he can. Zekin adjusts carefully left side, and actually a quiet approach as Viva plays through main. Of course, you have Havoya through Garage. As XLG don't want to get multi-killed.
He's flanking.
SEN just within the site. And yes, Havoya could be on the flank coming from behind, and Zekin doesn't know what to expect. And Hunter's Fury gets the attention from one side and Havoya from the other.
What? He defused? What?
Okay, the early pit, and actually a deep one over at the A for the defense, and no Hunter's Fury from Viva to kind of counteract that. XLG could just walk away from this center, so packed in, but Coconut, because he teleported in, they're committed. XLG with the rolling thunder, which just haven't been able to get any opening. Second comes alive, and Sentinels.
Early on over towards A, and that may happen again. Yeah, he's in a rough spot. Look at this, and I respect it. You know what? Absolutely. You definitely throw the Hunter's Fury out for just this guy. He is worth pulling it in whole ultimate just for one kill. Sentinels, well played.
Out of the picture. So XLG can go forward, running up through Garage, wanting to tempo up. They've smoked off B, so they don't get flanked. Now Coconut has to be the lurk and check out KU.
He wants the gun. Coconut would like to see if he can maybe retrieve a rifle. That'll give them a bit of help.
Yeah, now you're
Good
missing
flash.
someone important. No paranoia, but Raga at least keeps himself safe. Oh, trades!
One
it's
enemy
Bang!
remaining.
Once again. And XLG, well, they didn't even get the rifle from that. Coconut's like, what did I miss? Well, the
Everything.
all-around.
Again, he's done so multiple times. However, look over towards the left side here. John QD in good position.
Good headshot. And this is XLG being synchronized and better for trades. Something that was really lacking in that last round. And a 5 versus 3 within B. Has been a difficult site for them to hold, but only when there's 5 left of Sentinels and the overdrive tries to kick things into gear, and Zekin does what he can. It's all up to Narrate a 1 versus 2, or 1 versus 3. Happyway still has HP somehow, and the job gets easier, but it's not done for Narrate. He's even pre-shooting, but one from main. Gonna get tagged by the recon, and that's the... Sentinels have a fake that they're trying to sell towards B, maybe even fully committed, but after losing Zelsis, that plan to go A has been maybe ruined.
So they lurk down. And actually, off the back of that one, sometimes is the case. XL, hang on, contact will be found again. That's going to be info. Coconut spotted. John QT. I was going to say, typically, sometimes you kill the ganker and then you just rotate off because you're considering, well, that wasn't the team coming through onto this side of the map. And so Sentinels trying to play the mind game, saying, well, maybe we'll just abuse that and walk over towards A. But once that info was spotted against John QT, Sentinels have to back out, looking like the potential for a B finish here. They could also be walking into Happyway in a short moment as well.
Viva still has a recon too, but is trying to watch for a garage flank potentially from Sentinels, and also just trusting into the Cypher trip to give him info from Happyway.
My eyes are down.
Now, something is suspicious. Happyway is going to call for reinforcement. Here's the push from Sentinels being slowed by the cage, and Happyway once again is one and done, gets nothing for his efforts, and Sentinels trying to even up the numbers, but it's Viva coming alive! Oh! And the third one in the corner! He setting up camp now at B. It's the breach from Pavoya. Still flashes in hand.
Whoa,
and Zekin, who hunts down Coconut. Narrate takes care of business. And Sentinels facing some trouble, but at least time is on their side, and it's Happyway saying hello, and does what he can. XLG, they bought up. They find themselves behind in numbers. And it's Viva. Okay, John Cutie got to finish on what you started. Kind of a choke. Wait a minute, Viva Rarga.
Into, did he get the defuse as well? Must have.
He's getting pressured back while Happyway is smoked off, but could be ready to swing at a moment's notice. And it's Viva that shows face, and Happyway don't want that smoke, especially with the better bio from Sentinels.
Could have played off Havoya there. I'm a little surprised. He just dry swings it. Happyway as well will be punished. That's your two top players potentially down. Raga's in the mix, but XLG, they've been winning rounds off Happyway and Viva. If you want to swing that one, if you're Viva, surely Havoya does something to help you through the wall, but just didn't see the team play. And team play has been, again, I think the biggest issue for XLG, just not connected, and Zelsis will find the time at a Coconut. This round is over.
Every single time XLG have won a pistol and an anti-eco, they have not been able to convert that bonus. The first rifle round from Sentinels, it's usually good for it, but let's see how this finishes at the end. You're just going to save that rifle if you're Voya, and Rarga is going to go far away. That was a clean way. That was really nice shots. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, he's sharp, and at this stage, I mean, you could tell that XLG have kind of abandoned the round because Havoya is just trying to take the rifle and run, but going to have to be some setup from Bang here to do it. Zekin's caught in the trap, and will eat the stun.
Okay, good punish from Bang after Zekin got caught by a trip and some damage taken. Nonetheless, Zekin and friends are not looking so hot because of the work that was done on the right side of the map.
And how patient was Rarga as well, knowing that eventually Zelsis will walk into me, I'm gonna get this shot, and he does deliver. And late in the round now, rotation will finally be called. It's Coconut's turn to show up. He doesn't versus Zekin. Zekin and Bang together, two top players, and they are proving it right now. This is now winnable. 2 versus 2 in a post plant.
But Rarga with the op hopefully can find a different gun once he gets into around the garage area, and Zekin and Bang have much util. It's just going to be the face-off, 2 versus 2. Rarga with the slow walk-up. Viva could just bait for him and the shock dart to force the movement if XLG want to try and make Sen uncomfortable. It's Rarga with the flash, the dash, gets the focus of Sen.
Oh my word.
Collects both. Up to rule them all through garage.
Good flash.
The knives and everything. Now if only they could connect. Let's go back to the op, and it's dropped, and something Boy wants to pick up, but he's dead too. And Sen 2 versus 3, but against Vandals, XLG unite, and Hunter's Fury pierces through the hearts of the Sentinels. It's not his peak, it's not bad, but now that gives up the site completely, as that won't be able to be held by an op, so they'll take the perimeter, and Sen will get a plant.
And Happyway down as well. Now it's going to be Viva, combination of possibly Rarga as well, dropping that operator to Havoya. Now you want Rarga on entry with the rifle instead. Viva in first, just taken down with a high-low setup there.
It's good crossfire from Sen when you have all 5 on the post plan. There's not too much you can do if you're XLG, especially with the Viper wall kind of coming. I like the way he's not always committed, but with the double swing from XLG, Zelsis finds a good punish, and Coconut will back away, hoping to get Havoya into a position for a flash to help. The teleport forward from Bang. No, he doesn't commit, he doesn't stick it, especially with the spike. That's a risk when Sentinels didn't have the sight fully. Hunter's Fury to guarantee it. Zelsis comes from short. And XLG just get peppered down with ults. Not over yet, though. It's 3 versus 2. Sentinels will have the objective on their side. On the high ground, it's unsmoked as Havoya still has a fault line. Rarga.
2 players left to play through. Given that he dropped the operator, they want to play for this as well. Fault line's going to be huge here. 2 away, Havoya from the Rolling Thunder, probably too far.
Havoya, fault line does hit those below members, but Sentinels now a lockdown, but it doesn't really reach the back of the site, so the high ground's going to be a threat. It is smoked. Havoya did get some damage. XLG just with 2 hero rifles, gonna do what they can, playing up close and personal. Sentinels are gonna dance, even while blinded. You cannot perturb Zekin like that. With bang and jump, XLG don't get a punish, and the smoke's in place, so
Garage.
XLG deny B site, and Havoya with 3 from Garage completely cancels out that round from the Sentinels.
Still, though, going to attempt to get something done over here, at least put some damage on the Raga. Put that operator away. Second even will hold the gun. There's not going to be time to win the round for Sentinels anymore, but...
Second's really good at these fakes. The wall's up, he takes damage. And if John Cutie can get it there with the pit, it's everything. But the kills come through. It's Viva and Rarga. The pit is up. Rotation's on the way. Call 911, and it's for XLG this time, who forced the map 3. And a 2 versus 4 comeback is what is demanded for XLG to live on before they say goodbye to Group B. And Sentinels, time is on their side. They just have to hold the door. Viva gets stunned around the corner. He lives, but it's taking away the last life for XLG. It's Sentinels that hold it down on the corner in second. And Celsius, they made his own shot after all, 13-9.
We've seen them win this before in various situations. This combo, Raga and Viva, but not this time around. Too much to play into.